Welcome back to Scary Bear Attacks. Today's episode takes us to the wilds of Alaska, just east of Denali National Park in the Talkeetna Mountains. The land is covered with alder and willow bushes, interrupted by tall stands of birches and pines. July is the dry season, if Alaska has one, and nearly 24 hours of daylight. This allows residents and visitors to get out and enjoy the natural scenery and wildlife. Our episode begins with a small group of boys attending a wilderness education program. The boys were soaking up their lessons while attending the National Outdoor Leadership School. NOLS is a non-profit global wilderness school designed to develop leadership and environmental awareness in its attendees. Courses range in duration from a few weeks to a full year, and students can earn high school or college credit for successfully completing courses. NOLS was founded in 1965 and has taught thousands of young people how to adventure while they learn about their environment and sustainability. The 16-year-old boys of the group were Samuel Boas from Westport, Connecticut, Shane Garlock from Pittsford, New York, and Noah Allaire from Albuquerque, New Mexico. The 17-year-olds of the group were Joshua Berg from New City, New York, Samuel Gottsegen from Denver, Colorado, and Simeon Melman from Huntington, New York. The eldest of the group was 18-year-old Victor Martin from Richmond, California. The boys had honed many wilderness survival skills in their prior weeks and were in the last stretch of their trek. They were navigating through some very thick bushes, as there was no distinct trail to follow to their waypoint. They were very watchful for bears and had been instructed that if they ran into one to drop and play dead until the bear left them alone. The boys were walking single file with Berg and Gottsegen leading the pack at around 8:30 in the evening. They decided to cross a creek to avoid walking through the thick bush any farther. Berg and Gottsegen saw some rustling in the bushes on the other side of the creek, and a large brown bear emerged from the right of the rustling bushes. The boys found themselves in the worst-case scenario for anyone in the backcountry. They'd encountered a sow and her cub. The boys were unarmed, and the 3 adults in charge of the group were trailing far behind, attending another pack of 7 boys who were lagging. The sow immediately attacked Gottsegen, knocking him to the ground with a swipe of her razor-sharp claws. The boy immediately began kicking the bear in a feeble attempt to fend off the enraged mother, hell-bent on protecting her cub. The bear then clamped her jaws on Gottsegen's head and bit him severely. Next, she clenched her teeth on each of his arms in turn, tearing his skin and muscle tissue with ease. Then she swatted and bit him in the chest, which broke 2 of his ribs and punctured one of his lungs. Gottsegen screamed and yelled the entire time he was being brutalized, as the bear snarled and growled at the same time. Then she focused her anger on Berg. She attacked him and bit him as well. She swatted him, raking her claws over his flesh and severely wounding him. Then she returned to Gottsegen once more. Then she backed off a bit, and Gottsegen started yelling to activate the emergency locator beacon to signal for help. The attack happened so fast that the boys were sent into a state of confusion and terror. They had no time to pull out their bear spray that they had been equipped with just for this occasion. Next, the bear attacked Noah Allaire. He was attempting to activate the emergency beacon when the sow emerged from the brush and grabbed the boy and swatted him back and forth, tossing his head from side to side. His lung was punctured, and he was left battered and confused from the chaos. Victor Martin was watching the fracas in stunned awe, and the bear ran over and bit one of his legs just above the ankle before he could even react. Then she disappeared into the dense bush. As soon as she departed, it started raining, as if signaling nature's regret regarding the occurrence. The boys had no idea if she was still lingering in the area, but started to understand their predicament and developed a plan. The boys with the least injuries began setting up camp and immediately began triaging their wounded comrades. They had learned the basics about wilderness first aid on their journey, and they administered first aid as best as they could given the circumstances. They shoved a plastic bag into one of the gaping wounds of Gottsegen's chest and bandaged it with gauze. Back at the emergency dispatch office, the boys' beacon signal was received at 9:30 p.m. and a search and rescue team was organized. Alaska State Troopers were sent to the location indicated by the beacon as well. The rescue team finally located the boys holed up in their tent together at 2:45 a.m. They assessed the condition of the boys and decided that Gottsegen and Berg were in serious condition. The 2 boys were airlifted to Providence, Alaska Medical Center in Anchorage and placed in intensive care. The remaining boys were flown out to the Talkeetna Airport and taken to the Matsu Medical Center in Palmer, as their injuries were not life-threatening. A secondary rescue crew was set out to locate the rest of the students lingering behind with their 3 adult supervisors. The authorities stated this group was not even aware of the bear attack. They were also searching for the bear just in case the second group might encounter it as well. The rest of the expedition was canceled, and the students and instructors were returned to the school's headquarters. School organizers indicated that in the entire 40-year history of the school, they had never had a bear mauling. Uninjured survivor of the bear attack, Shane Garlock, said he is still haunted by the sounds of the attack etched into his memory. The screams of his friends and the growls of the bear echo in his mind. Authorities praise the character and decisiveness of the boys.